It's not. There you go. You
Question.
guys are unmuted now.
Now, hi everybody. Now that we're
It's
allowed
been
to
a long
talk.
day, all right? Relax, okay?
Johnny's got the child window lock button over there. Nope.
How's it going, everybody? How we all doing? Welcome to another episode of the Dudes and Belts Recharge here on YouTube, Twitch, and Rumble. I am your host, Johnny Deathdrop, as always, and what a show that we just witnessed here just about 15 minutes ago. Before we get into everything that happened tonight, let's introduce the panel for this evening. On the left, we have the one that lives way up there on the east coast of Maine, the inventor of the beacon of the week, the one and only Coastal Crusader.
What's going on, everybody? Another great episode of Charged and more of Lord Mitchell Taylor just not understanding the obvious in front of him.
And on the right, he is the voice of charge from time to time. He is the one and only KD. How's it going, KD?
I'm doing great, guys. Man, what a night this was. Great night of action. A lot of stuff going on with RMP this week, wasn't it?
Indeed, it was. And I mean, we got a whole boatload of stuff to talk about this evening, so let's not waste any more time here. How's it going, Queen, Lucas, Karan, Alice, Remy D? I believe I saw her in chat as well. He's poking his head out every now and then.
Can someone
Well,
get Ref Alice a drink? Her glass looked empty.
You know, it's funny. We've got all of our friends in the chat. I've got a friend here.
Oh,
Come on in.
Friends?
look at that.
Oh, look at hello.
Dude, what's up, man? I missed y'all.
What's
up, Remy?
You. Remy. Remy, Carson's been working on his 40, it looks like, from what we saw her at tonight.
Who?
Mr. CBD has been working on his 40. He ran awful fast.
CBD. I'm sorry. The only CBD I know is the cream that I put on my knees this morning. Sorry about that. I don't know. Yes, sir. You know what CBD?
Yeah. I mean, I know where you can buy CBD.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I'm good. Yeah. My shoes are tied. I ain't tripping.
All right, well, we got a surprise.
How's everyone doing?
I love it.
Yeah, we like surprises over here on the Dudes and Belts. Welcome, Remy D, to the Dudes and Belts Recharge Post Show. I think this is your debut here on the show, at least on Recharge.
It is. You know, me and Katie, we were just handling grown folks' business. You know, there ain't nothing. I just came in just to say hello. I'm not staying. You know, just want to say hello.
Well, glad to see your face, as always.
You can stop by anytime. You are always welcome on the Dudes and Belts at any of our shows.
Oh, you stop it, Coastal. Y'all are too good to me.
Well, Triple I's not here anymore, but I knew, you know what? He's going to be so angry that he missed this.
It's true, yeah.
I'm going to tell him he should write a letter. I'll put it in my suggestion box if he's that concerned about it. We can talk about it.
All right.
Don't mind me, you guys. You do your thing.
Well, since you're here, Remy, I mean, we might as well just kind of get right down to the nitty gritty here. Your issue with CBD. I know there's been a pass between you and him, and everything that's happened between the charged title and abroad. Where do you go from here? I mean, I'm assuming you guys will hopefully at some point be able to hash out your differences here at some point, or if you think he's even capable of being able to go one-on-one with you at this point. I mean, he seems like he wants nothing to do with you.
No, because he's scared. He's a little girl. The fact is, CBD overall, his talent, it's like candy. It's artificially sweet. See, it's not going to last. And the thing about it is, he's going to F around and find out. He's going to find out pretty soon. Because I'm just over it at this point. And, you know, ever since I've come back, and when I went back home to Detroit, though, I am so convicted. I am so assured of myself going into this. He can run. He can hide. He can throw big men, small men, do all these little tricks. They don't work anymore because vengeance is mine, said the remedy. and I will have what's mine. His ass on the platter. Ding.
Remy D
Yeah,
has
John,
spoken. Coastal, do you have anything for him?
I mean, if you mean by hashing things out, Remy beating the blonde out of his head, yeah, I think that's going to happen.
Oh, that peroxide? Oh, yeah, that won't be a problem whatsoever. I'll start with the fake tan first. I don't like orange creamsicles anyway, but you know.
All right.
Yeah, and that was an abridged version of what I was just listening to for the last 3 hours.
Oh yeah, he got the rated R version behind the scenes. So yeah.
That'll be on the DVD.
Yes, the special features on the Blu-ray.
And if you order now, we even throw in a free T-shirt.
Ooh. Who wants a free Remy D T-shirt? Anybody in chat?
I'm sure
Everybody
a lot of people on that one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Not...
All right.
Mr. Fourth Row isn't even in there right now. He's like, I can't fill all these orders. I'm not getting in there.
All right. Well, as of right now, I mean, we're still kind of pondering and waiting on what's going to happen between you and CBD at some point. Hopefully he mans up and decides to actually face you one-on-one at some point down the road. But
he said, man up. Have you seen
He's
him
already down the...
Ain't no man there.
I mean, he's probably about halfway down to the Wimmer at that point from beer start.
Oh, he's past that. He's almost in Colorado Springs by now, probably.
Yeah. I'm just saying, if I'm not a threat, if he's not intimidated by me, just face me like the man that you say you are. It's not hard. Catch me outside. How about that?
Nah. All right. Well, it's very good to see you, Remy.
You too,
That's for
fellas.
sure.
I will see y'all soon. KD, hold down the fort, homie.
I'll do what I can.
All right. Fokker, out.
Ladies and gentlemen, Remy D. All right. We got to have him on a Sunday show. Maybe a Dudes and Belts once a month live stream with RMP Talent. I think we can definitely dedicate a few hours to Remy D.
I think we
absolutely.
All right. Well, that was a good surprise. I will say that. Now let's get on with what we came here for as well, which is Charge episode 360. And we kick things off with a handicap match that we don't typically see too often at Rocky Mountain Pro. We have Jay Camacho and KSO going up against Brew. Coastal, what did you take of this?
I think this is actually I think probably Brew wanted this match more than most, because Brew has this thing whenever he teams with someone. He's had, Ronan in the past and the other people, and they always just seem to not trust him enough. Well, Brew's done with that, and Brew has decided he will just rampage run over to, mortal human beings to show Echo exactly the buffalo that he has become. And he did that tonight. He absolutely manhandled two grown human beings, threw them around the ring, and then ran through them and got a win over two trained professional wrestlers. These aren't just people off the street he grabbed out of the crowd and brought in the ring. No, they have wrestled before in Rocky Mountain Pro. And, Camacho looked great from what we saw previously of him. And Brew just treated them like children. And Echo seemed to enjoy every single bit of it. So Echo's got to be feeling like he won the lottery with a very angry, very potent buffalo at his side.
KD?
Yeah, no, everything you said was right on the money. We've seen an impressive amount of Camacho. Queso, for those who have followed Rocky Mountain Pro for years, they know what Queso's all about. They know he's just going to get better and better. And Brew just walked right through those two. And I don't know what's worse, getting speared or having to listen to Echo on the outside, just running his mouth the entire time. But yeah, no, it was pretty incredible.
Yeah, getting manhandled by a man that size isn't fun, but it's even less fun when it's getting narrated like a nature film.
All right. Well, We'll start with KD on this one because I think KD has a little bit more of a backstory than maybe we do, and the RMP faithful does. Sin Bodhi was back at home with his furry friends on his farm. It looks like, and was definitely talking in a way that we're not used to Sin Bodhi, I guess, talking or acting in any type of promo package or in the ring or anything like that. He seems to be his real, genuine self during this segment here. Um, Katie, can you shed some light on I guess the history of what was Bray Wyatt and the whole Sister Abigail thing, and kind of what happened last week with Damon?
I don't know if it's my place. It's a personal thing with Sin. I know that much. Um, he's kind of let me in on a little bit, but not a lot. Um, we
You
do
don't have to get
know.
personal with it, but
No. It's
yeah.
I mean, it's public record that Bray trained under Sin for a little while. So I mean, there's that kinship there. Um, so like we said last week with the Sister Abigail, it could be Damon paying tribute. It could be Damon kind of sticking it to Sin. We're not really sure. All I know is that was not a Sin that I'm used to hearing. That's not a Sin I think any of us are used to hearing. Um, like he said, no clown paint, no nothing. There was a reason I think he didn't even want to show his face. Um, it was very personal. It was, you could tell by the words, it was very heartfelt. Um, if I'm Damon Ace, if that was an attempt at a slight at Sin by hitting the Sister Abigail, if I'm Damon Ace, I'm very concerned for my future.
Yeah, I mean,
Your thoughts?
there's a couple. There's certain individuals that when they yell and scream, it does less than when they're serious. And Sin Bodhi is one of those guys. You expect the Warlord of Weird to be a little bit out there, loud, a little goofy, but when he sits down and he is serious in a promo, you pay attention. It grabs you, it demands your attention because not only is he talking quieter than normal, because he's probably just emotioned out at this point from everything that has happened. He also is very focused, very deliberate, and wants everyone to hear what he is saying, especially Damon Ace. And we know this because at the end, in words we can't say on the TV and he couldn't say on charge that were bleeped out, Damon should know exactly what is coming for him. Hell is coming, and Sin Bodhi is riding the horse on it.
And it is for the NRW Championship when those two actually meet up. So there will be a stipulation during this match, and God only knows if that stipulation goes in Sin Bodhi's favor. That could mean some trouble for Damon Ace down the road here as we are getting closer to Shocktober.
I don't know if a stipulation favors either one of them at this point. I don't think maybe either one of them even care what the stipulation is at this point.
Well, it's definitely gone into a very personal level. Almost, I mean, yeah, just about as close to him and Matt Yaden about a couple months ago.
That's what Yaden does. I'm not Yaden. That's what Damon does. Damon has found the recipe for his success. He attacks your mind, gets you off guard, and then he just brutalizes you until you just give up mentally and physically. But he attacks you mentally first. Because it's not the hard shell he's getting through. He needs to get in the middle before he can attack that shell. And I don't know if you want to take up residency in Sin Bodhi's head because that place is scary.
And you witnessed it firsthand, too.
Yeah, no, I looked at that man in the eyes, and my life passed before me. It changed me.
Well, it definitely changed your pants, too, in the process.
Nothing happened. Jeez. I'm not brown bellflower.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's a good thing he was wearing his brown pants.
All right. Well, speaking of Sin Bodhi, he is in a match tonight. He's going up against Jason Knoll. Your thoughts on this match? We'll start with Coastal again.
I mean, it's a rematch from what we've seen previous. I believe it was Milestone. this is, Jason Knoll. He wants to get back to that diamond standard. He needs these wins, and he looks really impressive tonight. I don't know if maybe Sin had his mind elsewhere. We know from the promo, we know he's really focused on Damon, and it almost bites him tonight because number one, we see Jason Knoll go to the top, and that is very scary. That's like a Mack truck going over a cliff, and you're standing on the bottom like Wile E. Coyote with a little umbrella. It's gonna hurt no matter what. Does he catch all of that axe handle? I don't know, but he catches enough of it. Really knocks Sin for a loop. And then Sin is able to regain composure, put it all together. These two guys they're both XP bars are huge. Sin's got a bigger one because he's been around longer and he's trained people, and Jason Knoll's been around a long time, but I think it's when you train people, you understand what everybody is capable of. So that is something that Sin Bodhi will definitely have in his back pocket when he goes up against Damon. But tonight, he took care of business. Almost got caught up by Jason Knoll, but Jason back to the drawing board again. Katie, what does Jason Knoll have to do to get back to being a diamond standard?
Not wrestle Sin Bodhi. It's especially in the mindset Sin is in right now. It's not. I don't think anybody is going to fare well against him. But we've seen what Jason can do in the past. We've seen when you guys are watching Rewind. When Jason's on top of his game, Jason is a very, very tough competitor. I think if he's able to focus his energy a lot more, I think if Jason is able to kind of get some momentum, and I think at this point it's more of a mental game. I think he wants so badly to become that diamond standard that if he's able to mentally prepare himself, mentally get him into that mindset and get a little bit of momentum, I think the sky's the limit for him. I think that Jason has a lot of upside still. And I think if he's able to do all those things, it wouldn't shock me to see Jason Knoll with a championship gold in the future.
All right. We all set with that match?
Yeah.
All right. Briscoe Crown gave us a little bit of info on his current situation with his elbow and I guess you could say his future, at least a short-term future right now, and as him being the charged champion. Katie, has there been any progress on Briscoe's end? Has he been training a little bit more? Has he seemed to have gotten a little bit better over the past week?
A bit. He hasn't been in the ring yet. I don't think he's been cleared yet. But I know he's been working on cardio. He's been doing some legs and stuff like that, keeping himself in good shape. Like we said with Jason Knoll, he's been able to kind of master the physical side or the mental side of this right now. He's keeping himself in good spirits. Every time you see him, he's always in a good mood. So, I think as long as he stays in that side, Briscoe will be just fine. I think where he needs to worry is if this injury is going to start affecting him mentally. If he starts to worry, am I going to be as good when I get back? That's going to be a tough road to come back from.
Coach,
Yeah,
any thoughts?
He's doing everything he can do, but you obviously can tell his body language, the tone of his voice. He is frustrated. He wants to be in there. He wants to come back. Couple things there, and we've all done it. We're all, in anything competitive we've done, you come back too soon, it defeats the whole purpose because you're probably going to either injure something else or you're going to re-injure whatever, his elbow in this case. He uses his elbow a lot more than we think. He's a great striker with his feet, and he uses, a lot of the quickness, but in order to do the kip ups that he does, he's got to put, weight on his arms. Got to be able to, press people and escape moves. And you need your elbows for that. You need your joints. So I'm worried at this point that Briscoe is getting frustrated, not so much of being hurt, but being not in the ring and competing. So he really needs to keep his head square, keep his chin up, and he'll be back before he knows it.
Yeah, I think we all collectively have the confidence that Briscoe's going to return better than ever. We saw what he went through over the past year. He's been dealing with multiple injuries throughout the course of 2023, but he's able to continue and succeed and actually made a few accomplishments along the road, including winning that Charge championship. So he seems to be a very resilient guy, and I myself also think that he's going to recover just fine and be able to overcome this injury right now that's holding him back a little bit. Moving on here, guys. It's been a very, very long time, and I know we saw him last Sunday on the Rewind during Milestone 3 to unify the championships. Danger Dean in the ring, training and getting ready for Shocktober. What do you guys think of Danger Dean? He looks pretty damn good in there for taking some time off.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like Father Time hasn't caught up to him as quickly as it has with some other people that have taken time off in the ring. Looks like he's still able to, he's crisp, he's clean, and he's training with Cushman now. As Cushman says, sometimes he has his head up in the clouds. So maybe, Dean needs to find someone a little more focused, the eyes a little more wide open, maybe to train with, get him prepared a little bit. But Cushman, was helping him out, and Dino looked great. He really did.
What was it like for you, Katie, to see Dean in there running around and doing what he did for a brief time during Charge tonight?
It was great. You can say what you want about Cushman, but working with the white shirts in the school is not necessarily a bad thing. A lot of people you talk to in the wrestling industry, they'll always say that this move's great, but the basics will always come back. And when you've got guys who are so focused on basics right now, who probably can do them better than some of the guys we see in the ring on a week-to-week basis, when they're training with somebody like Dean, he's going to pick it up so much faster, and it's going to be like riding a bike. So, I think working with guys like Cushman and Mick Diamond and people like that, that's going to be a great thing for Dean. I also think he probably will want to step in the ring with some more seasoned competitors, which we're seeing just a small portion of it. There's a good chance that you've got guys like Bruce Waynes and Ernatiba jumping in there and helping Dean out, especially when it's against Curtis Cole, who nobody likes. So I think Dean's going to pick it up. It's going to be like riding a bike. It's all going to be if his body can hold up. If his body can hold up, man, we've seen what Dean can do in the past. And I think, I'll put it out there. I think if he can keep up his body, I think we have a new champion come Shocktober.
You really think so?
I agree as well. I think the major thing is it's going to be those first couple of, hits that Dean takes. He lands on the mat hard. He's going to, kind of like in football, that first hit wakes you up a little bit, and you're like, okay, I remember what this feels like now. This isn't going to be fun, but let's do it.
Well, if he knocks that ring rust off, though, you got to question: is that going to wake up something? Like we said, it's going to wake him up. Is that going to wake up the old Danger Dean? You see some of those people that they have to get hit. You see it in boxing all the time. They got to take that first punch to kind of get themselves into that mindset. And Dean's always came off to me like one of those guys.
Enough of nothing. I mean, with the exception of what happened last year, Dean at one point was the longest reigning champion in Rocky Mountain Pro history. So he does have some resilience in him. And I know it's been a while, but I think you're right, Kitty. I think Dean, if he can get himself in as good of a shape as he possibly can and be able to withstand Curtis's attack, he might be able to pull this one off. I mean, he did at the Colorado Cup. Nobody thought he was going to win that.
You did, Johnny,
except for me, but but that was a shot in the dark.
Sure.
Oh, it was. But yeah, so I think this main event coming up at Shocktober is definitely going to be a very intriguing matchup. And again, these guys have some history together as well. So very much looking forward to the main event. And we'll talk about this now before we give our spiel to YouTube and Rumble. Curtis Cole actually brought up these points that he's been around. He never left. He has and always has been the guy that has stuck around and have been probably one of the cornerstones of Rocky Mountain Pro over the years. And Dean has come and gone and come and gone. And he made reference to a lot of other people that have come and gone in the past, like probably Dax is what he was referring to as well. Because he had his run in with Dax about a few weeks ago. What do you guys take on Curtis Cole here and what he's saying? Does he have a legit gripe, or is he just whining?
For once in his life, everything Curtis Cole said in response in this promo was absolutely true. He is probably in the best shape he's ever been in. He has obtained his goal. He does feel entitled. Dean has left. He has stuck around. You can't take anything away from Curtis Cole. He has been here, and we know when he feels slighted by somebody, he's different and he's more aggressive. Take a look at what he did last October against Stephen Ashburn. He took it to him about respect. This is similar. Dean's got a fight on his hands. I hate Curtis Cole.
I think that was a couple years ago.
Was it?
I think that was a couple years ago at Shocktober. I think that was the I Respect match.
Yeah.
But yeah. Katie, your thoughts?
I gotta agree and also disagree with what Coastal said. Like you said, he is in the greatest shape of his career. He's entitled for sure. But there's the difference is while people have left, Dak Draper, Danger Dean, Royce Isaacs, guys like that, they have left and come back, but they've always still waved that flag of Rocky Mountain Pro. It's not like they left and claimed to not want to have anything to do with this place. It's not like they left and forgot who they were and where they started. These guys still carried that banner, and they saw it as an opportunity to, when they would come back, not to help themselves. Guys like Dak Draper, the man's been on Ring of Honor television. The man is currently on NWA television. Like, the man doesn't need his own ego stroked. He can do that everywhere. He comes back to help Rocky Mountain Pro. He sees it as an opportunity to come back and help the promotion that helped him. That's the difference. Same with guys like Dean. Dean doesn't step in the ring unless he knows that there's an absolute reason he has to do it to right the wrongs of something that he feels is going on. That's the difference. Curtis Cole, that title to him is just a bigger paycheck, and it is another thing to be able to look at somebody and go, haha, look what I have that you don't. That's not what those other guys were all about. That's the key difference. And if Curtis would get that through his thick skull, maybe he'd be a little less upset at some of these guys. And something that you also got to take into consideration is, guys like Dak, Royce, Dean, a whole plethora have left because they got those opportunities. Why hasn't Curtis gotten those opportunities? Is it because somebody else didn't like him? Or is it his own ego? Is it his own attitude? Is it his own doing that he hasn't gotten those opportunities? We've seen what Curtis can do when it comes to when he's got an opportunity in front of him. The man wrestled on national television on a Monday night. That's amazing. But that was the old Curtis Cole. That was the humble guy. That was the guy who would take any opportunity that came his way and do it with a smile on his face and a thank you. This Curtis Cole is not that guy. So before Curtis wants to go and run his mouth about the guys who have left and come back and left and come back, he needs to see why they've left and why they've come back, because it's a totally different reason than Curtis thinks.
Very, very
Curtis
well
has
put.
that. He has that superhero problem. You fight long enough, and if you stick around long enough, you eventually might turn into what you hate, which is kind of what he's done. He fought so hard, to not be an egotistical champion maniac, and look where he is now.
And the funny thing is, like, you guys are watching the rewind, and you're probably a couple years away from Curtis. Watch what he's like when he started. That's not the same guy. He was very humble, very nice. He hated guys like that, and he would talk about them, and he would tell me and everybody else who would listen, man, I hate that guy. I don't ever want to become like that guy. I don't ever want to be that type of person. And he's become exactly what he always said he never wanted to be. And I don't know if it's the lure of championship gold. I don't know if he feels like he's been taken advantage of. I can't tell you, but I do know this is a different person. But it's somebody that a lot of us have rallied against. It's a person that we've seen in other people, and they're not around anymore.
All right. Any thoughts on Curtis Cole and Danger Dean as they're getting closer to their main event match in a few weeks at Shocktober?
I can't wait to see it. I'm excited.
All right. Before we continue on with episode 360 and our review of that episode, give a quick shout out to YouTube and Rumble over here. If you guys haven't yet, if you guys don't mind, please hitting that like button and leaving a comment below. Let us know how you think about episode 360 and your opinions on the episode. And what match are you looking forward to that have been announced thus far for Shocktober? Same with Rumble over there. Same thing. Hit the like button, leave a comment. I believe it's a follow on Rumble and a subscribe on YouTube. And make sure you both hit that notification bell so you guys don't miss any more content on either platform. And of course, get ready to make your tier 2 membership subscription over there on YouTube, $9.99. So you guys can watch Danger Dean versus Curtis Cole, Damon Ace versus Simbodi, and many other matches will be announced for Shocktober. It's the only way you're going to see it. 3 short weeks. It's tier 2, $9.99. And that will cover not only Shocktober, but every pay-per-view going forward in the future, including Supercharges. And you can also go back in the past in the annals of Rocky Mountain Pro and check out all those pay-per-views that are members only as well. So not just Shocktober, but you get a plethora of content at your disposal only for a monthly payment of $9.99.
You can go back and watch when Curtis wasn't a jackass.
True. And it wasn't that long ago either.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't that long ago either.
Sell tons of memberships.
All right. Let's move on here. Poor Lord Mitchell Taylor has gone as far as asking referees to be his tag team partner. But hey, he was actually kind of, if you think about it for a little bit, it's not a bad idea asking a ref to be the tag team partner.
He's not genuine about it. He just wants the back. He
How
wants
do you
the
know?
ability to,
How do you know?
He says it. He says, can you imagine you being the ref and my tag team partner? We'll never lose. He just wants Alice to cheat. And she does the right thing and throws a drink in his face. That's exactly what you should do. Because number one,
I hope it wasn't expensive wine.
Hey, his tag team, it was not. If it's from Mitchell Taylor, it's probably box wine or bag wine. His real tag team partner is there. Derek Stone, Lord Mitchell Taylor, is your tag team partner. You just need to embrace it. Embrace the stone.
Embrace the stone. And Katie, your thoughts on this?
Is that anything like romancing the stone?
You know, I don't think he needs to romance Derek. Derek's pretty smitten already.
You know, I mean, like Johnny said, it wasn't, it's maybe not a bad thought in theory. I don't think it would ever work, but it's not a bad thought in theory, I guess.
Do you think he asked the wrong ref?
Oh, 100%. He asked the wrong ref. Maybe if you asked Martin Aloysius, maybe. But, I can't see ref
Tommy Boucher.
Maybe Tommy Boucher. I can't see Ref Alex being involved in any of that chicanery. But like I said, you start to feel bad for the guy. The man's been trying so hard to find a partner, and this week he gets a drink thrown in his face. And I'm hoping Alice didn't buy that drink, because I know
she's in chat. We can ask her.
Yeah, I mean, if that was Alice's drink, I feel bad because I know the prices. If anything, if it was a Lord Mitchell drink, then have at it.
Yeah.
But I do have to. I got a good chuckle out of. It's kind of what we all thought at the end when he just looked at and said, a simple no could have sufficed.
Alice did not
That's
buy
great.
that drink.
He did not buy the drink. Fantastic.
Uh, it's gonna come a time where he just has to accept that Derek Stone is the loyal companion to Lord Mitchell
Mhm.
Taylor. It just at some point it's gonna come to a realization.
They go together like peas and carrots.
They
Forrest and
really
Jenny.
do. Hey, and I mean, they were part of the OGs with Now's Plunk. I mean, you can't say that there isn't any chemistry there. I mean,
Well, we know where Lord Mitchell Taylor got the wine now.
yes, we do. I mean,
Well,
Alice
then we
kind of
know it wasn't
confirmed it.
boxed. Then we know it wasn't boxed.
Maybe it's just time for Lord Mitchell Taylor to
It's
accept.
bagged.
And Derek Stone. Kudos to Derek Stone though for being as loyal as any tag team partner could ever be, facing the circumstances that his friend is trying to fill his spot in every which way, shape, or form, and he is still there for his best friend. Gotta give kudos to Derek Stone. And he's a damn good chess player. There, I said it.
And a snazzy dresser.
Very much so.
Very
Underrated
snazzy.
style.
I don't know about you guys, but I think Pink Fur is about to make a comeback.
And the leg warmers.
And I hope Derek Stone leads the way.
Big furry leg warmers that he wears when he wrestles. Those coming back.
There's going to be he's got to be coming back to the ring at some point soon, more on a full-time basis at some point. He seems to be moving around pretty good. So can't be long now.
Here's hoping.
Okay, we're going to move this over to the main event because we'll put that in a package there, but we need to talk about this because this has been the first interaction between these two. And that is Noel and Simbodi.
Noel looked upset a little bit there for a while. And I don't actually think... I don't know what Sin was doing there. Because she didn't seem like she wanted him there. It's not like she gave him a hug and was like, hey, thanks for checking in on me. She looked like she was going to bite it. And then she just left. Noel, unfortunately,
didn't she spit in his face? I think. At least from the looks of it. It was very hard to tell.
But you can never tell if that's a hello, a thank you, or a goodbye in this world that she lives in. Unfortunately for Noelle, she's more lost now than she was before Salem found her and made her the marionette. She is an orphan with no family, a tenant with no house, and she is lost. And I don't know what Sin is trying to do, if he's trying to be a compass or he's trying to find a marionette of his own. But I think I think it's going to be a little harder to gain her trust than he thinks.
What do you think of these two interacting with each other, Katie?
You know, this is going to be a little weird and a little winded, but stick with me. Watching them and watching Noelle for the past several months, all my thought process went to was the story of Goldilocks. This is a girl who started out just the girl next door, the good wrestler, the sweet girl. That didn't work. She then joined the asylum. She had a little bit of success, but at the end of the day, that didn't work. The question is, did Goldilocks just find her third bowl of porridge that was just right? Because sometimes what's not said is much more interesting than what was. And to look at the range of emotions that Noelle went through in about the span of 10 seconds, from anger to sadness to almost acceptance that Sin was there, was pretty nuts. It was insane. And to be honest, the look on Sin's face after she left, he was just as perplexed as the rest of us when it came to Noel. Um, I think Sin has a plan. Yeah, I think he always has a plan. And I think he sees a young up and coming wrestler who is, like we've said, very lost, not sure where she belongs. And Sin's pretty known to take those kind of people in. Is that what he's planning? I don't know. I think he's got a lot on his plate with Damon Ace. I don't think he's thinking that far ahead. Um, but if there is something that's starting here, the Lockettes division has just been put on notice. Because if you can imagine someone like Noelle, who is coming in with all these skills and is constantly learning, and now she's going to be sitting under the learning tree, perhaps, of a Sin Bodhi, I'm very careful with where I tread when it comes to those two. Uh, yeah, I think Noelle could do a lot worse than hanging out with Sin Bodhi. I mean, she wasn't worse. She was in a damn asylum. Can't really get much worse than that. Um, so we'll have to see where this goes. And but I'm intrigued. Color me intrigued and color me entertained.
I like the way you put this with the Goldilocks and the Three Bears. But my question is, in what way is Sin? Cause it seems like Noel is still hanging on to a portion of Salem and the asylum itself. What makes Sin become that perfect bowl of porridge over Salem?
I think it comes down to experience. I think it comes down to you look at the history of what Sin has accomplished in this industry. Not saying that the asylum didn't do anything for anybody. I mean, you look at Christy Janes. We haven't seen her or Salem since that casket match, but the woman held roughshod over that Lockett's championship for months. Was the
That's
most
fact.
feared person and was one of the most feared people in the Lockett's division, if not the roster. So yeah, the asylum definitely did a lot for a lot of people. Um, but look what Sin has done in his career, and look at the people he's helped. I mean, we said at the beginning of this show, the man helped train Bray Wyatt. If you're not wanting to sit under that learning tree, if you're not wanting to soak up any knowledge that man is giving you, regardless of the outcome, you got to question your want to be in the wrestling business.
All right, that's a perfect answer. That's what I was looking for. Coastal, any other thoughts on this interaction?
Yes, my one thought is, and Katie touched on it, Sin's got a lot on his plate right now with Damon. Does this factor into Damon? Does he want Noel to help manipulate something? I don't know, but that's where my mind went.
That's a good question.
I guess it's just a wait and see to see what happens here. Let's see if these two interact anymore going forward, at least until Shocktober. But I think Noel would definitely reap the benefit of whether she follows Sin, at least have a couple moments with Sin to kind of gain a little bit of advice going forward. But I mean, who knows? I mean, she's a lost puppy right now, and if she's trying to find a home, and you can see, I mean, she wouldn't be by a dumpster just contemplating her thoughts right now if that wasn't the case. But it's very interesting, and I'm very intrigued to see what goes on between those two and how that kind of interacts with everything that's going on with Sin and Damon as well, because obviously that's very fresh right now, and that's going to come to a head in a few weeks. And let's see where Noel stands after that, or during that. I mean, we don't know what Noel's going to do half the time. I mean, her mind's all over the place.
Well, and real quick to add to what Costa was saying, maybe we can get like somebody like Lucas or something on it. Like you said, is this a way to kind of play mind games with Damon? We'd have to do some research to see, besides just training,
Yeah.
is there anything that Damon and Noel have in common? Is there a common thread um, that they share that we don't know about? Is there a history of some kind that we don't know about? Um, it's all a possibility. I don't know. Um, I We can get somebody to take a look into that.
I mean, before she was the marionette, she was the juvenile delinquent at one point, just a normal kid,
Yeah,
living her
maybe they spent
dream.
time in Georgia together.
And I think that would be the only time that I would think there would be any interaction between those two, at least at that point. So,
Or is Sin playing the manipulation card of here's someone who's broken, and if I earn their trust, I can get them to do anything I want.
it's all very new now. There's a lot of pieces going on around Sin right now, and it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with Simbodi in general. I mean, besides the upcoming NRW match with Damon, and besides what we saw tonight with Noel, his mind obviously is must be still thinking about Bray and everything that happened with him over the past couple weeks. I mean, he's probably not in the best mindset as of right now, but I mean, Simbodi is the warlord of weird for a reason, and I think we're about to see exactly what that means in a few weeks. I have a funny feeling. Oh, we have Mr. Happy in chat. Maybe he just thought she needed a hug. You guys think Noelle needed a hug?
I don't. I've been close enough to Sin Bodhi to have him almost hug me. No, it's scary. You look in those eyes, it's scary.
All
I
right.
mean, if she needs a hug, there's a lot of people she can ask. She can stay away from me.
All right. Well, let's move on here to the main event. Before we saw Echo and Brew, the camera guy wanted to get a quick little interview with those two, and we saw how that ended rather abruptly. They're different dudes now, man. I don't even recognize those two anymore, to be perfectly honest. But surprisingly, we see the combination of Echo Boosin and CBD tag teaming against your tag team champions, Chopper City, in the main event of episode 360. Coastal, you're the tag team guy here. What are your thoughts on this tag team match to wrap up episode 360?
I think this is a tale of two very different tag teams, and I use the word tag team loosely for CBD and Echo because we know Echo is quite the accomplished tag team wrestler. CBD, I think, just didn't want to be anywhere by himself, and he wanted to feel like he had some friends. Because as we find out about at the end of this match, there's people looking for CBD, and he shouldn't be by himself right now. But Echo is he's mean. He's ornery right now. He just wants to beat people up. We see it. He goes and attacks Bruce's arm, picking right up where he left off at Supercharged. He gets him in that, the spin. It looked like a spinning toe hold, but on his arm. And when you snap down, it, destroys the shoulder, the elbow, and Echo just wants to hurt people. And that's kind of what he is right now. He's making statements. CBD, the man can wrestle, but he is for himself. On the other side, we got Chopper City, and they look great. They're the tag champs for a reason. That you got a Tiba coming in off a hot tag after Bruce and he's just on fire, doing everything he can. I think they had this match well in hand, and then all of a sudden, CBD sees a ghost of Ass Beaton's past is coming to get him, and it is Remy D. And Remy D chases CBD, I think, pretty much probably to Coors Field, or right out of Bierstadt, right down past Coors, and just kept going. I think he's probably pretty close to Colorado Springs right now. Somebody should go out on the interstate, see if they can find CBD, because he's still running like Forrest Gump. He wants nothing to do with Remy, and we get a count out here, and Chopper City's just celebrating in the ring. They're going to party no matter what. And Echo didn't really seem like it bothered him. Here's the one thing, KD, though. Echo's been trying to make statements lately, and a loss is a loss, whether he took the pin or not, and there was no pin. Now you just kind of messed up Echo's win-loss record and Brew, and there's going to be some receipts coming CBD's way for that loss, I think.
I mean, you would think so. I mean, you saw the poor camera guy just was trying to get an interview and he got his head slammed against a pole.
Yeah.
I'm hoping the man got hazard pay for that. It is kind of funny though to see. It's almost a tale of two echoes. You see him in the back, and he's still almost that fun-loving, joking type of person. We saw it with Brew. It was mean-spirited, it was malicious, but it was kind of funny. I mean, yeah, the man called Brew pumpkin. That's not something we're used to seeing.
Not wrong.
And then when he comes out, it's almost like a switch got flipped. He becomes this just very maniacal, very focused person. It's almost natural born killers like. It's a very interesting dynamic that we're seeing out of Echo. CBD is just a tool. We know that. And yeah, like you said, it's Chopper City is going to do what Chopper City does, and that's win. So, but like you said, Remy came out there and decided he wanted a little piece of CBD, and CBD suddenly became Forrest Gump because he just started running. And yeah, we didn't see him the rest of the night, so who knows where he went.
His other stuff is now at Lost and Found at Bierstadt.
Yes.
He'll come back and grab it at some point.
If you need a pair of wrestling boots, they're in the Lost and Found at Bierstadt.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a solid match. I think this was more of the enemy is my friend. We know that Chopper City has a relationship with Remy. We know Chopper City has had a relationship with La Isla. That could be a potential of why they targeted Chopper City. You take those two guys out, and now guys like Balaam and Remy are on their own instead of having that backup. I'm not going to sit here and say I know what's going through Echo, Brew, or CBD's mind. Mostly because I'm not psycho.
But we still haven't figured out why Echo did what he did.
And the weird part is, I don't think we will for a while.
Yeah.
Because anytime you're going to want to get a response out of Echo, and you got some big crazy man smacking you upside the head and hitting you in the poles, I mean, eventually our camera crew is going to stop taking those jobs.
Yeah.
So,
you come with a gift for Brew. It's like you need to come with a sandwich. Here, bud. Here, eat this while I talk to your friend.
Sandwich or a giant bone and just go.
Yeah.
Something. I don't know. You're going to need something. Maybe show up with a helmet.
I wanted to bring this up because I noticed it tonight, the way that Echo was going after Bruce Wayne specifically during that match. Who does he remind you of in that ring? Any guesses?
I mean, I know some.
Does it have anything to do with joint manipulation quite a bit, especially recently?
Yeah. No, you and I are on the same wavelength.
Yeah, very Damon Ace-esque in a way. And I know those two have had a history with each other. I see like a mini Damon Ace forming with Echo in the way he's conducting himself right now.
Well, if you think about what's the most painful thing that's happened to me, I'm going to do that to other people. And we have seen Echo take a lot of Damon's best shots.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that's bad.
On the same page,
oh, we're not on the same page.
No, I actually was thinking David Drake.
Yeah, I can see that too.
We haven't seen Drake in a long time. So who knows where that crazy guy's been up to?
Yeah, we have a lot of crazy cats in RMP right now that have a mind of their own.
I'll let you know there are no wanted posters up or missing posters for David Drake. He can stay as far away from the RMP
Is
ring
that
as
good or?
All we know is he's not around any of us, and that's a good thing.
Well,
exactly.
well, talking about Echo, and we kind of touched back on why Echo did what he did. Before the show ended tonight, we saw another package from what it looks like Balaam, and I'm pretty sure it's Balaam because he still has the bruises from the kendo stick attack from Brew a few ignitions ago. Not ignition, supercharge, last supercharge. And he's looking back at Never Broken. And the time, the day that they won, was it Never Broken or Peak of the Pack that they won the tag titles? I think it was
Never broken.
Was it Never Broken?
Yeah.
And he's trying. He's on a mission for something. He's trying to find the exact moment, or he's trying to find something that triggered this whole change in Echo. And it looks like he's been in the same spot for 2 weeks now, and the more the days go, the worse he looks like he's getting. As you saw towards the end.
Yeah, but I don't. Last week I did. I thought he was trying to figure out where it went wrong. Was this something he missed? Now I think he just figured out no. And he doesn't know why. And right now he's just consuming as much Echo as he can to keep his eyes on the target. And his rage is going to consume him. We're seeing it. It's transforming him. He's almost shaking as he's sitting there. The eyes are getting wide as he sees his prey in this point.
But is he doing more damage to himself, though, by just continuously looking back and just focusing and trying to find the exact moment?
He's a wildcat. He's hunting. He's laying in the weeds, watching, taking notes about his prey, studying, and then he's going to pounce, I think. And I think right now we're seeing he's not looking. I don't think he's looking anymore for why it happened. I think now he's just got nothing on his mind except revenge.
And he doesn't even seem like it really doesn't seem like Echo's concerned about Balaam whatsoever. I mean, we've seen over the past few weeks.
Oh no, this is
one-sided. Just going about his business.
That's a big mistake for Echo. Echo thinks that Balaam is the same as him, and it's over now. It's not over.
What do you think, KD?
No, Coastal is 100% right, and it's the perfect word. He's hunting. He is watching. He is taking notes. He is figuring out everything that Echo does, and when he's ready, he's going to pounce. We know what Balaam is all about. We know how much of a student of the game Balaam is anyway. Echo has driven him to a completely different point at this juncture. Like we said, I mean, the fact that the man still has those bruises on his back from those kendo sticks, that tells you that's going to be something that's never going to leave him. That's the physical scars might go away, but the mental ones, they're never going to leave. But yeah, he's watching the footage. He's watching things. I would like to know what in the hell the last thing we saw was.
Yeah.
What was that face? What were those eyes? That was not Balaam. That was something entirely different.
That is an angry, wounded animal.
I mean, we saw fangs coming out of his mouth a couple weeks ago in Supercharge.
Yeah, I mean, and now the eyes are changing.
Yeah. What's happening here?
Echo has, brother, you have awoken something, and I don't think Pumpkin's going to be enough to save you.
That's why I'm concerned on whether or not Damon is doing more damage to himself mentally and apparently physically than he thinks. He's very much perplexed over this whole Echo thing, and I get that to a point, but it comes a point where it's just not going to work out. It's not going to happen, and Echo did what he did, whether we know why he did it or not. Like it's something that Balaam can't hang his head over too much because he's got other priorities ahead of him, man. I mean, he's one of these top stars in Rocky Mountain Pro right now, and he has a shot at any time to go after the gold here at RMP and become one of the biggest stars in the company's history. But he's so perplexed, and I'm wondering if he's doing more damage on himself and his career by being so focused on just Echo and when it happened, how it happened, and so on and so forth.
Well, let's take it back a few months. Um, he was the same way, but so was Echo when it came to JK Pop. Those guys could have easily had tag title shots or done whatever they wanted to, but those guys were so focused on JK Pop that Echo said it multiple times. It's on site, and we saw those guys fight. Before shows. I distinctly remember one of the Beer Stott shows. As the show was getting set up, they happened to come in at the same time. They saw each other, and a fight broke out in front of everyone. Um, the locker room pretty much emptied to have to pull them apart just before the show started. So we know that's how Balaam and Echo can operate, and I think that's what Balaam's doing right now. I think also this is going to come to a head because, as we saw with that JK Pop situation, Echo's not one to back down. Echo's not going to back down from a fight, and neither is Balaam. What worries me is who is going to get caught in the crosshairs as they're going at it, because this has the potential to become catastrophic. And I'm glad I'm not wearing the stripes anymore for that.
I wonder why, and I'm curious to see if that's the reason why Echo had Brew by his side, in case Balaam were to do something.
Has to be. It's the old adage. You have, when it comes to Balaam, and it's ironic that we use the name Wildcat. They have now poked, hurt, injured an animal, and they may have just put him in the corner of a cage. And those two have, in what I think, they have got a long, long series of pain coming their way. I know what Balaam can do. I've known him since he got in here. I've known him since day one. I consider him a friend. I haven't talked to him in weeks, and that's very unlike him. So last time he didn't talk to me for weeks was before the match with Damon Ace, when he finally won the Charge title. And we thought that was a different Balaam then.
Even Damon Ace couldn't bring this out. You know what I mean? That whole entire feud last year between Damon Ace and Balaam Lings, that didn't bring this Balaam out. Echo did something worse than Damon Ace did, and I didn't even think that was possible.
Yeah.
When a brother betrays you, it's a feeling you'll never understand until it happens. And that's what Echo's done.
Oof. Just gonna have to wait and see what happens with Balaam here, and I still can't believe that Echo's just kind of shaking this off. He has to be seeing these shows. He has to be looking at the footage. He has to know something's coming. He has to, or at least show a little bit of concern. Because I don't even think Brew's going to be able to stop this Balaam or whatever's coming out of Balaam right now. I don't know. It's very, very concerning, but also very, very curious. Because I'm wondering if and when these two collide, how bad is it really going to get?
I don't know if the ring's going to be able to contain it.
I don't even think the women's going to be able to contain it, to be honest with you.
I don't know if Denver will.
I say we screw it. We lock them up in a cage in the Denver Zoo and let them go at it.
Let's just throw them in Area 51 and have the best man win. Best man still standing after that. All right. Well, that was the conclusion of episode 360 with what we just saw with Balaam. Final thoughts on this entire show altogether.
Absolutely, another banger put on by Rocky Mountain Pro, and we have all these questions. We're 3 weeks away from.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I just flipped over to Twitch, and we got a raid from Diamond Dave's show with a party of 8. Thank you so much, and welcome to Rocky Mountain Pro, and welcome to the Dudes and Belts Recharge post show. covering everything that happened on episode 360. If you want to check out exactly what we're talking about, you can go over to youtube.com/Rocky Mountain Pro or rumble.com/Rocky Mountain Pro and take a look at episode 360 and all of our past episodes to kind of check out Rocky Mountain Pro and see if we're up your alley in terms of liking in wrestling. So thank you so much for the raid. Greatly appreciate you. And I'm sorry that I had to interrupt you, Coastal. Go right ahead and finish your statement.
Oh, no worries. I was just saying, 3 weeks away from Shocktober, we have all these questions. We have a championship match that seems to is taking a back burner to Echo and Balaam and Sin and Damon. It's all coming to a head at Shocktober.
KD.
Yeah, everything he said is right on the money. I said last week this kind of felt like a new beginning for Rocky Mountain Pro, kind of like a new era, and this one just kind of solidified it. It feels like a different Rocky Mountain Pro since the last Supercharged.
So many moving parts, I think.
Oh yeah, lots of moving parts, lots to be entertained by. Once again, if there's one thing you don't like in the show, wait 5 minutes. You'll find something else you'll like. But yeah, no, great show. Shocktober is becoming closer and closer to one of those can't miss events when it comes to RMP throughout the year.
And as of right now, the only matches that are confirmed for Shocktober at this moment, and there will be plenty more where that came from, where this comes from, actually. We do have the RMP Championship in the main event here. Curtis Cole versus El Presidente himself, Danger Dean, for that Rocky Mountain Pro Championship. And we also have Damon Ace versus Sid Bodie in a stipulation match because it is for the NRW Championship. So obviously everybody's very curious to see how that match is going to go and what stipulation gets attached to that match. And there'll be many more matches coming down the pike. We are about 3 weeks away from Shocktober. The only way you're going to be able to watch Shocktober is live on youtube.com/Rocky Mountain Pro with a Tier 2 membership of $9.99. Once you secure that membership, not only will you be able to watch Shocktober on October 5th, but you will also be able to watch Supercharge in December. No Thanksgiving, I think, is coming and making a return as well. I believe that's going to be a membership show as well.
Yes.
And not only will you get those two upcoming premium live events or pay-per-views, whatever you want to call them nowadays in wrestling, but you also get the backlog of all the other pay-per-views that Rocky Mountain Pro has had in the past, exclusively for members only. So there is a abundance of content at your disposal, only at a Tier 2 membership at $9.99. We will be doing the same thing over on Rumble. We actually talked about it a few days ago, and we're just kind of working out the kinks on Rumble, so we'll be able to do that same promotion over on Rumble and be able to stream it live on Rumble and YouTube at the same time. I don't know if it'll be in time for Shocktober, but definitely for No Thanksgiving. We'll keep you updated on if Shocktober does end up going over to Rumble as well. Other than that, I guess we can give you a little bit of an update on what's going to happen this week because our schedule might be changing. Hurricane track did not get any better since the last time we talked. I think as of right now, there are 2 different models that are taking it in different directions, so everything is still uncertain at the moment. The forecast that I have on my phone currently for my area is that we're getting about 3 to 6 inches of rain and winds as of right now at 40 with gusts to like 55 or 60. Coastal is probably going to get the worst of it as of right now. If it does track the way that we think it might, he's going to take the brunt of it. So at the very least, there's a possibility that at least Coastal might not be here. And again, depending on what happens, it's looking like the Sunday show is going to be the one in jeopardy. It looks like we will be able to do Reignited, though. I think we can safely say that, that we will have that show at the very least this week. And we'll keep you guys updated on what's going on for Sunday, obviously. But until then, that's all we know right now. It's still about 5 days away from it actually interacting with us. And who knows what's going to happen. So we'll do the best that we can to keep all you guys informed. And I'll be talking with the upper management of Rocky Mountain Pro and let them know the situation that's going on up here as well. So other than that, that's all we got. I know Snowpack got moved over to the 24th, so I know that's coming up next week. And is there anything else, KD, this week in terms of Rocky Mountain Pro Live?
Just Ignition on Thursday.
All right. So actually, Rocky Mountain Pro has a quiet weekend for the first time in a while.
Yeah, we do. It's weird, but it's nice.
All right. So other than that, guys, that's going to wrap up our show this evening. Thank you so much, Raiders, over there on Twitch. We greatly appreciate you. Thank you, everybody on Rumble who's watching, and, of course, YouTube for watching. The whole mess of you guys. Without you guys on all the platforms, this wouldn't be possible, and we greatly appreciate every single one of you loyal listeners and watchers of the RMP Faithful. For myself, Johnny Deathdrop, Coast Crusader, and KD himself, we will see you guys on Thursday for sure for another episode of Dudes and Belts Reignited immediately after Rocky Mountain Pro Ignition, starting at 6:15 Mountain Standard Time over here on youtube.com/Rocky Mountain Pro. As always, folks, stay safe, stay classy, and we'll see you on the next one. Take care, folks.